in the warm and vibrant Caribbean region of Colombia, especially in the small town of Plato, Magdalena. A legend has been passed down from generation to generation, carrying a warning about the consequences of curiosity and disrespect. It is the story of the Alligator Man, a creature half human, half alligator, who is said to still inhabit the waters of the Magdalena River.
Many years ago, in the town of Plato, there lived a young man known for his curious nature and his lack of respect for women. This man, whose name has been forgotten over time, had a secret obsession, spying on the women of the town while they bathed in the river. However, aware that his behavior would be severely punished if discovered, he devised a plan to watch them without being seen. Determined to fulfill his purpose, the man visited an indigenous shaman from La Guajira, known in the region for his skill in the dark arts. He asked the shaman for a spell that would allow him to transform into an alligator, so he could swim in the river without raising suspicion. The shaman, though initially reluctant, agreed to help him, but before preparing the potions, the man had to make an offering for them. Being a non-indigenous man, or alijuna, he needed to not only pay in cash, but also bring a young goat with light eyes, spotless fur, and a white beard. The man agreed to bring them. The shaman was still suspicious. However, he skillfully prepared the potions in a short time. A blue one that would turn the young man into an alligator, and a red one that would return him to his human form. Before giving them to the man, the shaman lit a half-used cigar, took a puff, and blew the smoke onto the potion containers, which took on a bright color. Then he did the same with the man's clothes, and finally, he blew smoke onto the young man himself. But the cigar ran out, and there was only enough smoke to reach his face. Finally, the young man received two potions, one to transform into an alligator, and the other to return to his human form. Excited, he began to use the spell every time the women went to the river. He would silently glide through the waters, watching them without being noticed. But the man's greed grew, and soon he began to use the spell more frequently and for longer periods, losing his fear of the shaman's warnings. One day, after hours of spying, and while suffering from a hangover from drinking so much at a party the night before, the man decided to return to his human form. However, he made a mistake when applying the second potion. To his horror, his body began to change, but not completely. His body remained that of an alligator, while his head only partially returned to human form. With this grotesque and terrifying appearance, the alligator man realized that his fate was sealed. Ashamed and fearful of being seen by the townspeople, he submerged himself in the waters of the Magdalena River, where he is said to still live, condemned to a solitary existence. Since then, fishermen and travelers navigating the river tell stories of a strange creature that emerges from the waters, an alligator with a human head that seems to stalk those who come too close. Locals, especially parents, warn their children about the dangers of approaching the river without caution, reminding them of the story of the Alligator Man. His legend has become a warning about the dangers of curiosity and the respect that should be shown toward others, especially women. Thus, the story of the Alligator Man remains alive in the region, a reminder that those who do not respect boundaries can end up condemned to a fate worse than death.